Just a quick note before we begin. As we were putting on the finishing touches of this video, Amazon announced that they are banning all incentivized reviews from their platform. We'll be doing an updated video about that shortly. However, in the meantime, I still wanted to show you these responses to your questions, even though they might not be totally relevant anymore. Hi, I'm Tommy, founder of ReviewMeta. This is a follow-up video to the one we published last week that showed incentivized reviews were more likely to be positive than their non-incentivized counterparts. If you haven't seen that one yet, there's a link to it in the description below. The video got a lot more attention than we predicted, and as many of you know, our servers were very slow to respond for about a day. Those issues are sorted out now, and I've created this video to respond to the flood of comments and questions that were generated. If you want to skip ahead to a specific question, there's links in the description that you can use to jump to that part of the video. So one of the most popular comments we saw were viewers complaining about how they're sick of seeing these incentivized reviews on Amazon, and we absolutely agree. However, many went on to say that if they saw a single incentivized review for a product, they would refuse to purchase that product. Now, I totally respect you for sticking to your convictions so strongly. However, I don't think it's necessary, and here's why. Incentivized reviews give sellers an advantage when selling on Amazon. They are able to get a lot more positive reviews much faster than those who don't, and that's leaving many sellers in the dust. So in order to stay competitive in this current ecosystem, many sellers are essentially forced into getting these incentivized reviews. So it doesn't necessarily mean that a product is inferior just because it has some incentivized reviews. We built ReviewMeta.com specifically so that consumers could get a clear picture of how the incentivized reviews are impacting the overall review picture for that product. You shouldn't throw the baby out with the bathwater. If you're having suspicions, run the product through ReviewMeta to help you make an informed decision. Another popular comment was that Amazon already uses a weighted average when calculating product scores, which takes into account whether or not the reviews were verified purchases, and most of the incentivized reviews are not verified purchases. This is absolutely correct, and Amazon has been doing it for years. It's no secret. Our data shows that about 96% of the incentivized reviews are not verified purchases. Oftentimes we're seeing that Amazon's product star rating is essentially not taking into account any unverified purchases. I don't believe that Amazon's exact weighting algorithm is public information, but we are seeing that it's much better than the raw data average. However, there are still some issues with it, such as a product with 100% unverified purchases. So it's still helpful to run the product through ReviewMeta to get some additional stats. The next comment we saw a lot of was sort of criticizing our analysis. Many suggested that the discrepancy could be explained by the fact that non-incentivized reviewers are more likely to write a review when they have a negative experience with the product. However, incentivized reviewers are required to write a review no matter what. This is completely logical and one of many totally reasonable explanations. It's hard for us to prove why the bias exists exactly. However, the numbers still show that incentivized reviews are much more likely to be positive than their non-incentivized counterparts. So if one seller goes out and gets a bunch of incentivized reviews while the other seller does not, the one who sent their product out for free or at a discount is going to have more positive reviews than the other seller, even if their products are about the same. Another comment that we saw several times in the same line of thought is that all or most of the negative reviews from non-incentivized reviewers are due to irrelevant things like shipping or packaging. While this is something we've seen before, it doesn't seem to have a substantial impact. Now, this is just anecdotal from what I've seen in the data, and we do have plans to take a closer look and publish another report on our findings, but my best guess is that it's not enough of a problem to explain the discrepancy between incentivized and non-incentivized. Also, Amazon has a pretty clear policy that forbids reviewers from leaving a negative review because of shipping, so they seem to have no problem deleting these types of reviews when sellers complain. The next comment we want to address is one that we actually saw several times. A few viewers pointed out that if only 20% of reviews in our dataset are incentivized and the average rating discrepancy is 0.4 stars, then the real difference is less than 0.1 star. Well, that's what we're seeing in the overall data. We still see some products with 100% incentivized reviews and some products with 0% incentivized reviews. We're also seeing some products that have a discrepancy of 1.5 stars between their incentivized reviews and their non-incentivized reviews. So when you look at the individual products, it is a bit of an issue. Moving on, there's three types of comments that we saw come up a lot. 34 individuals admitted to participating in review clubs and claimed that they never have a bias when reviewing products. This is completely understandable. We're not claiming that all incentivized reviews have a bias, and it's expected that there will be plenty who review critically. However, on the other hand, 43 individuals admitted to participating in review clubs and also admitted to having a bias, whether it was being pressured to leave only positive reviews or being harassed by a seller for leaving a negative review, or simply only posting positive reviews to keep the stream of freebies flowing. They all agreed that these review clubs often result in a bias. Lastly, 47 people asked where they can sign up for free stuff. Yeah, it seems counterproductive to our cause, but it's only a drop in the bucket. Now, the last type of comment we saw a lot were people calling us out for having a potential bias of our own. The most common of these were pointing out that the video is just an ad for ReviewMeta. Yes, it's a promotional video, but we're not at all hiding that fact. I posted the video on Reddit under the username ReviewMeta, and the YouTube channel is called ReviewMeta, and within 20 seconds of the start of the video, we're talking about what ReviewMeta is. Regardless of whether or not we're offering our own site as a possible solution to the problem, the numbers that we present remain the same. We're not doing anything at all to the data to get it to somehow give us a larger discrepancy. In fact, the query that we ran to show the discrepancy is extremely simple. Select average rating count from reviews where site equals Amazon.com, group by incentivized. The variable names are a little bit different, but we wanted to give you an idea of how simple the query is. So it's great to be critical of everything you see and hear on the internet. In fact, that's exactly why I started ReviewMeta, because I was skeptical of a lot of the reviews I was seeing online. Another concern that I saw our viewers express many times is that as ReviewMeta grows, there's potential for us to be influenced by sellers who are willing to pay to have their products do better on our site. Now, whenever I read comments like that, I'll admit I'm a little offended, but I have to remind myself that it's not a personal attack, and if I was in their shoes, I'd be suspicious of the same things. So there's three things at play here. The first is transparencies. Our reports show a lot of data, and anyone who wants to spend the time to tally up everything over on Amazon can double check our work. If we were playing favorites with one specific brand, it wouldn't be long before someone figured it out. 2, risk. If we did a deal with the devil, so to speak, we'd be risking everything we built for that one deal. If word got out that we were up to that sort of thing, we'd be ruined. So from a business standpoint, it's an idiotic move. And the last thing is just ethics. I started ReviewMeta because I was sick of brands essentially lying to consumers in the name of profit. Selling out like that goes against everything I believe in. Anyway, that's all the questions we have time for in this video. If yours wasn't answered, you can send us a note by visiting reviewmeta.com/contact, and we'll respond directly, or we'll answer you in the next video. Thanks for watching.